also mentioned that you suffered from, and probably still do, everyone does,
Like,
self-hate and mental health. And
yeah.
you said that YouTube was taking a toll on your mental health. Tell me about that.
So when I first started doing YouTube, there wasn't really like a lot of eyes on social media. It was a pretty new thing. And if you did do YouTube and people at school knew about it, it was kind of awkward. Like, look at this guy making Minecraft videos, weirdo. You know what I'm saying? And I started taking YouTube more seriously, around 16. But even before then, I made YouTube videos ever since I was 9, so 11 years ago. But I would just post random like videos where I would just play games and just put them on the internet because it was like, okay. I mean, at the time, my favorite YouTubers were doing it. I was just like, I feel like I'm funnier than them. I feel like I have a personality. Let me do it too. And it just became something I loved doing. And eventually it got to a point where people in my middle school knew about my channel too. And like I had people talk behind my back calling me lame and stuff because it was like at the time, YouTube was new and not many people watched it. But now, with a bigger, like now that I have a bigger platform and there's just so much eyes on social media now because it's so popularized, it makes you really start to think twice as to what you put out in the world. And it kind of gives you a sort of anxiety as to what you want to do in the future. Like even sometimes when I posted my Instagram story, I'm like, wait, do I really want to put this out there? Because it's like, I know some people don't have things in life and they might feel some sort of jealousy. And then at the same time, I just want to be myself and post myself. But are people really going to accept that myself? I mean, are people really going to accept me, if that makes sense? So it's like an endless battle of just like facing reality, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think a perfect moment or balance of it was when I first started getting like big on social media when I was 16, 17. That's when I just didn't care. I was like, I mean, if the world doesn't like me, the world doesn't like me. I'm just being me. And I feel like that was the best time because I was just authentic at that time. Then as I got older, I started to become more self-conscious because you start to realize, oh, you're a black male, you're Muslim, this, that. Like you start to realize the subcategories you're set into when you're born. So yeah, just anxiety on that.
And I that's why I don't like when people talk about these categories in a way, in a non in the not the right not the right setting.
Yeah.
Because when you keep telling a person such as yourself that you are black, that you're a black male who is Muslim, and that somehow you have less opportunities and all of this stuff, even if that may be true, you sure as hell shouldn't think that.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you should be thinking in your head, I'm soloing, I'm the man, I'm about to do this.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like, I'm not taking the approach at all. I want to make myself very clear. I'm not taking the approach of victim blaming. I'm taking the approach of, if you truly are the victim and you don't want to be the victim,
don't act like it.
Don't act the best. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
Literally. Same thing again.
And I feel like, dude, really, I had that mindset until I was 18. And then, bro, I feel like college just ruined it for me.
Well, did you start caring about what people think?
Yep.
That's the recipe to disaster. Once you care about what others think, you won't be able, they'll be holding you back, man.
Yeah.
There's a rope on you. Because what we have to understand, especially people like me and you and everyone that's like us, what I mean by like us is the next Muslim generation coming. The next Muslim generation that are going to be running this country, that are going to be doing great things. We need to understand who we are, what our values are, and we need to understand that we're sticking to them firm.
Yeah.
Like a tree in the middle of a river, and the river is flowing with all these morals and all these people flowing and their ideas of you flowing, but you're standing firm in that tree, as that tree. And I think that's huge, because when I say, for example, that let's just say I have an opinion that is based off of my Muslim values.
Yeah.
And you and I would both agree on this podcast about the values. But there's someone out there, definitely, at least one, who is completely offended by our Muslim values.
Yeah.
If you and I cared, we wouldn't be able to go anywhere. Muhammad Ali wouldn't be able to go anywhere. Gandhi wouldn't. You know what I mean? So it's like we have to be offensive as long as it's true.
Yeah, because you can't please everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If the truth is sometimes offensive as hell, man. Like the Quran was one of the most offensive, if not the most offensive doctrine to have ever been released at that time. You're talking about there's an entire city of humans, and a book is being revealed saying everything you're doing is wrong.
Yeah.
Imagine if a book was revealed onto the United States today where it says, I am your Lord. I'm here to tell you that everything you've been doing morally is incorrect and you guys are terrible people.
Yeah. Like, what is
It'd be the
going
most
on?
controversial book ever, man. So it's just, you gotta do you and keep doing you, because otherwise people will still hate you, but at that point they'll hate you for someone you're not even, it's not even you.
I mean, at the end of the day, haters are your biggest fans.
Yeah. You live in their head rent free, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. So did Islam help you at all through those decision makings, through those, self-hate?
Yeah, it did.
How is that? Because I find that a lot of people don't know how to take the psychological or mental health approach to Islam.
I don't know. I guess it's just the thought that we're all gonna die one day. So it's like you might as well just live your life to like the fullest, what you want it to be. And I feel like that's kind of what I learned from just like practicing Islam, because at the end of the day, like it mentions multiple times in the Quran, like we're all gonna die. So you might as well just, be nice to people, do what you want to do, but to an extent where it's not like, negative or harassing anybody. So it's like, yeah, just keeping that at the back of your mind, it keeps you motivated to just want to do more with your life rather than just sit down and watch Netflix all day or something.
Yeah, because I saw this post the other day. Actually, I don't have my phone with me, but I saw this post the other day where this guy said your happiness should not be correlated or should not be dependent on your spouse. Your happiness should be completely dependent on God and all this kind of stuff. Basically, what he was saying was that all your life's troubles wouldn't be that bad or wouldn't feel that bad, or you'd even be happy as these life troubles would be happening if you were only close to God.
Yeah.
And I was just like, see, this is why a lot of kids don't turn to Islam when they're having emotional and psychological problems, because there's this disconnect and there's this wrong belief that the amount of iman, Iman is faith, right? The amount of faith you have and the relationship you have with God somehow correlates with your mental health.
Yeah.
I believe it doesn't. I don't believe your mental health correlates with your relationship with God at all.
Yeah.
They're not the same question. Why I say that is, for example, Prophet Jacob with his son Joseph, right? Or no, not Jacob. I'm gonna call him Yaqub. Okay. I think Yaqub is Jacob. I'm just gonna say Prophet Yaqub and his Prophet Yusuf, Prophet Joseph. When he lost Prophet Joseph, he was deeply saddened to the point where he had physical repercussions to his sadness, where he became blind. Over and over again, the Quran shows us and basically testifies that your stress is real, your sadness is real, to the point where you can have physical repercussions for your sadness. Yep. To the point where God even told the Prophet, peace be upon him, in the first 8 verses of Surah Al-Kahf, do not stress yourself over the Christians, to the point where you can kill yourself. You can kill yourself of stress. Even God said that. In a part where there's a passage of the hypocrites, where there's 3 verses God sent down. And you got to think about the context of the Quran. You're talking about the final book that the most glorious thing to have ever existed, God sent down on us. It's the final book, last word he's ever going to give us. And he decided to use 3 of those verses to defend a little 6-year-old boy's story because he said that the hypocrites said something, and then the hypocrites called the little boy a liar,
Yeah.
and so the little boy now was depressed because he thought that the prophet, peace be upon him, now thinks he's a liar. And God sent down 3+ verses saying this little boy didn't lie, these hypocrites are the ones lying,
Yeah.
and defended the little boy. I don't think that you should be telling your kids if you prayed more you wouldn't have this anxiety. If you prayed more you wouldn't be depressed. It's not true.
At all, nah.
The prophet Joseph didn't say that. He was actually so sad. His faith was quote unquote so bad that he lost his eyesight. That seems like terrible faith right there if we're using your logic.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, man, I think mental health is a big thing. I think it's what this generation is being tested with.
Yeah.
I think past generations were tested with not having toilets, not having air conditioning, like physical things.
Yeah.
I think that's how God tested them. Their lives sucked, but in a way different way.
Technology and whatnot, they never,
Yeah, like now our lives are just as hard as people a long time ago, but mentally, not physically. And so I think we need to know what game our generation is dealing with, know that this is our generation's overall calamity, which is mental health, and we should be going down that road of solving it. But I'm not gonna I'm not gonna sit here comparing us to the generation of the prophet, peace be upon him.
Yeah.
You don't like when people do that, do you?
Nah, because it's like, bro, people back then had it way, way harder.
Way hard. They
Way
were just
harder.
mentally different, bro. They were
Yeah.
built different.
Like, we're just, like, we're too comfortable. That's all I can say right now.
Dude, we got shirts on.
Yeah. We have technology. We have the internet. We have food. We can just go to a store. Like, sheesh.
Do you know that the average American has more food in their pantry than the kings and queens of long time ago?
Seriously?
We eat more and we indulge in desires more than any king of Persia, any king of Rome. We have air conditioning. King of Rome was pooping in a hole, bro. Like, like a hole on the ground. Like, that's how they pooped. Like, we have air conditioning. Kings used to have fans. Like, we have it better than kings.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, I'd love to be a king. It's like, dude, you are. You are. And you're sad.
Yeah.
Isn't that a weird combination? And that's when that's actually why I realized there was God. A big reason why I realized there was God is because I found there was no correlation between success and happiness.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I was like, whoa. So this worldly success isn't what it is then, because God is basically in Islam, if you want to sum it up in a way, all he's telling you is these worldly things are not success. I'm redefining success. This is success.
Yeah.
And then you're living about your worldly life, and then you realize, whoa, he's right. I'm soloing, and I have 400,000 subscribers, but guess what? I deal with my own emotional problems. I deal with my own family and friends' problems. My life's not perfect. A lot of your YouTube probably fans, a lot of them probably think, dude, Sullivan's living a great life.
Yeah. Nah.
Dude, go ahead. Like, please, like, I want kids to know that you YouTube stars, you YouTube influencers are not living this magical, happy life.
Yeah. It's just whatever you portray in the moment on social media, really. It's like, I guess it depends. Like, yeah, you can have all the success, you can have all this money, but yeah, if you're not happy on the inside, at the end of the day, you're going to be miserable, depressed. So,
And it doesn't correlate, right?
Yeah, at all.
Are you happier now that you have more fame and more girls around you, no?
If anything, it makes it harder to really trust people. Yeah, like, seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like, as you get older and as you keep building, you kind of just have to let people go and connect with the people that stay genuine, if that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's hard to do that.
Yeah.
It's hard. And you basically, like, as soon as the camera stops rolling, you're now immediately a normal human being again. That's what people don't realize.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as this podcast ends, you and I are going to go back and have dinner and be normal people and talk to our parents and do all these things.
Pretty much.
It's not like you and I are going to be sitting here after the camera stop rolling and we're going to be podcasting for another 3 days. Like, dude, there's life, man. A lot of these kids don't know that. So what would you say to them? Because not everyone can be solo, and not everyone can have their fame, and not even anyone can go past you. It's sure as hell harder to even get past you. It's the fame and richdom. So what would you say to them? Because I don't have any. I'm not famous. I don't even have any fame or richdom, so I don't have any advice for them. What would you say?
I would just say at the end of the day, just be yourself and find a passion. Like, try to live as comfortably as you can. Like, you might be in a bad situation right now, but at the end of the day, life doesn't stay the same. Situations don't stay the same. People don't stay the same. So as long as you just keep that at the back of your head and you just keep grinding to get what you want, you'll live a fine life. Like, really, fame, money, none of that means nothing if you're not happy with yourself. So you might as well work to your goals that will make you happy for that present moment. Get your money and live the ideal life you want to live. That's really, I mean, that's at least what my dad tells me. But yeah, that's.
And it has nothing to do with fame and money.
No, not at all.
And would you say just even having a taste of those two things?
It feels great in the moment, but then people forget about you. Like, at the end of the day, people are more focused on themselves than they are about you. Like, yeah, you can go to a red carpet setting and see a bunch of famous people. Then 2 hours later, are you really going to remember those famous people? You're just going to be chilling with your friends. Yeah, it's a moment. It's an experience you, like, live at that moment. But those people aren't feeding you. Those people aren't, like, keeping you alive. Why should you care so much, if that makes sense? So everything's relative. Like, it's just live in the moment. Be you, because at the end of the day, all you have is you. Like, we're born alone and we die alone. So if you don't make yourself happy, you failed as a person. That's